All right, good afternoon, everyone. Please, can you all hear me?
Yes, good afternoon.
All right, let's start today's class. So, yesterday we are able to look at how to import, how to extract data from our folder, our library, and how to load it into Power BI. And I talk about Power BI Query Editor. I explain the workflows, how it works, and all that. And I explain some basic terminology in Power BI Power Query Editor. And I also explain how we can load our data into our Power BI from our Power Query Editor. So I started from going to get data, or if you are using Excel workbook, we can just select Excel workbook, and from here we can select any files that we want to load into our data, into our Power BI. So from there we can load or we can transform by selecting the sheet that we are working with. So we are working with these two sheets. You can get the preview here, and from here you can transform the data or you load the data. If you press transform data, to take you to the Power BI Power Query Editor, where you can edit whatsoever you want to edit. You can try as much as possible to make the data clean as you want, and you can look into how your data type is. And I also explain the advanced editor from the home tab, and I explain how you can like I explain each of these pane. This is the query pane and this is the navigation pane in Power Query Editor. And after you are done with your transformation, I explained that if you want to load your data, you just click here. You click on close and apply. And once you do that, automatically this Power Query editor is going to close, and and from here you can now come to your Power BI page. So today, for the purpose of today's class, sorry. So for the purpose of today's class, we are going to be looking at how we can create some basic visualization, and how we can format this kind of visualization, and from there we can know how it works better. So basic visualization. So the first thing that we are going to be looking at is how to create a simple line area chart, and we also talk about introduction to categorical hierarchy, and how we can create a date hierarchy. We are going to look at connecting tables with unique identifiers, and also the types of connection that we have in Power BI. I think I mentioned this yesterday, that the name that we call connections, like we are connecting the types of connection that we have in Power BI is cardinality, and we have four types of cardinality. So we are going to look at all these things in detail, and these are one of the things we are going to be discussing today. So let me just start powerfully. Like I said, we are going to be working with um this particular visual, So we are going to duplicate um this particular visual here, and this is like an area chart. So this is like an area chart. So starting from this area chart, this is where we are going to start our visualization from. I will explain how to do other visualization, but we are going to start our visualization from here, and that is what we are doing today. And from here too, I will explain how you can connect different tables together and all that. So yesterday I mentioned that we have three views in Power BI. We have the report view, we have the table view, and we have the model view. Now, this particular view that we are seeing here is the report view. So if I want to look into our table view, I'll just click on this table view, and it will take me to the table view here. So if I want to look into office supplies, like when we load our data, we have two sheets, which is two tables, and we have office supplies and date dimension. So this is the office supplies, which contain different information that we have here, different columns. And we also have our date dimension. So our date dimension is this, which is talking about the year, quarter, month, week of year, quarter ID, month ID, and week ID. So we are going to be using all this information to create our line chart. And I also mentioned yesterday that we also have model view. So the model view explains connection between between tables. So if you are also following along with me, you can open your Power BI app on your desktop, and you can always follow along with the steps so that you can get it more better. So this is the date dimension, and this is the office supply that is here. So these are all the columns that we have. These are all the columns that we have here for date dimension, and for office supplies too. These are all the columns that we have. Column is like I explained yesterday, column. So these are all the columns that we have here. So because of the kind of data type that we selected yesterday, Power BI knows that anyone that has that is maybe number is going to put it into sum like this. So if you see any sum like this as a sign, it means that that particular column is numeric. So, but if you don't see anything, it means that it is other data type, whether it is a date or whether it's a text. Or but if it is number, it's going to bring it as it's going to bring this symbol here, which is sum, to specify that it is a numeric column. So that is that. And under this again, okay, this report view. So this is where we are going to be designing our tables. So I'm going to start. I would like to start with just explaining the visualization pane again. So like I explained day before yesterday, that we have visualization pane and we have our data pane. So visualization pane contain different visuals that we may like to present. So if you look at this place like this, these are the these are the kind of visualization that we have. So we have stacked bar charts, and we have star column charts. So just over on each of them like this, each of them has their own name. This is the line chart, and this is the area line chart that we're going to be working with in today's class. And we also have stacked area charts, bar chart, and the line chart, and like that. So, but before I forget, there's always a difference between a bar chart and a column chart. A column chart, from the word column, column is something like, for instance, if you have a table, column is always vertical. So if you see any chart that is vertical like this, is column. Whereas any diagram that has something like this, that it is horizontal, it is known as bar chart. So bar chart is more or less like saying horizontal chart, but we don't call it horizontal chart. It's called bar chart. Whereas column chart is just the vertical chart, like if it is vertical like that, it is column chart. So I just say I should just give you a heads up on that. So bar chart and column chart, that's one of the major reasons that is between the two. So we are going to be working with this area chart today. And one of the things that we can use area chart for is if you are trying to look at maybe the trends, or you're looking at how the flows of a particular variable. So variable can be like sales, it can be like quantity, price, it can be anything that has numeric. So if you're trying to look at a particular variable, maybe with time, or by some things that you, maybe like by some categories or by variables that you think it will be worth to use the area chart for. So you can use the area chart. So majority of mostly people used to use area chart for finding relative trend. Line chart is just look for trend or to look at a flow. But area chart here is just to know relativity or volume of the trend. I'm going to explain how, once we build the chart, I'm going to explain better what I mean by volume and relativity. So yeah, so today, ordinarily our aim, if you look at this particular visual here, you can see it says sales by month and year. Sales by month and year. But our aim for today's class, we won't be able to do the sales, but because the sales here that I use here is metrics, is like mayor. So tomorrow we are going to deal with mayor. So during that mayor time, I'm going to explain how to calculate a sales using some formulas. You can see creating simple basic measures. So how to calculate some sales. So I'm going to explain that tomorrow better. So but today, instead of saying sales, what we are going to be doing is just quantity and price. So if you should, some of you may have your data to be like this. So if you want to view more of information in your table, just click on this chevron icon. It's going to display all the what's it called that is here, all the items or all the information that you have under this table is going to display it here, so that it can help you to choose whatsoever that you want to choose from here. So you can see we have our item, we have our order dates, we have our region, our representative, we have the unit price and the unit sold. So for today's class, we are going to be looking at the unit price and the unit sold as our major variable for today. So our aim is that we want to know how is the price and the how is the unit price. Unit price is saying the unit price, of course, like the price of the product or the price of the item. So you want to know how the price has been doing over the years, and we also want to know how the sales or how the quantity that is being sold, how is it doing over the years. So that means that we are going to be looking at the trend of price and quantity by time. So that's what we are looking at. So, and I'm going to be using area chart for that. So you can see the way I explain basically our objectives before even doing anything visualization. Like I say, Power BI is very simple. If it's about drag and drop, it is easy. To pick a visualization and put something there is easy, but you must have an objective. What do I want to achieve with these visuals? Okay, I want to do this. So you must have something that you want to do before you can say you want to start anything at all in Power BI. So like I said, our aim for today's class is just to know the price and the quantity by time. I want to know the trend. So and because of that, we are going to use area charts. So we have other charts that we can use. Like I said, we have line charts. We have stack line and stack column charts, and some other visuals that we can use for. And this one to line and stacked area chart. So we have some visual like that we can use for looking for trend. The majority of this visual that is even in this line, they are mostly used for trends and relativity or volumes. So, but you can use the one that you know that is pleasing to you, depending on your objective. So, but for today's class, I'm going to be using area chart. So it is important that although there's no any hard coded rules that says that this is the type of chart that you must use, but based on practices, often and often, you are going to know, okay, if I should use this kind of chart, it's going to make sense than using this kind of chart or something like that. So it is very important that you know your objectives and what you want to achieve before even looking at visualization at all. So that said, I'm going to just, so if you want to now, you can say build visuals with your data, select or drag feeds from the data pane onto the report canvas. So this particular place like this is called canvas and it is called report canvas. And everything here like this is known as report for this particular, from this dash line that you are seeing here to this particular dash line that you are seeing is known as a canvas, report canvas. But everything, this particular page entirely is known as report, report view. So to now drag our visuals here, just click on the visual itself, area chart, just click on it. It's going to, you can see it has dragged something here. So if you want to expand it, just expand like this. If you want to expand it down, just expand like this. If you want to move it like it is here, in this visual here, we place it down here. So if you want to also place it down there, just um just click like this, hold on it like this, and just drag it down, down, and it is down already. So it's going to be giving you one kind. You can see the red lines. So just for you to measure how you want it to be very neat and arranged. So now after we now um select our visual that you want to use. The next thing is for us to select feeds. You can see select or drag feeds to populate this visual. This visual is just template here. There's nothing there, but we must provide the data that we want to use. Now, in this visualizations pane, this is like the visuals section, and this particular place is like the feed section, the feed section. So there's here we have x-axis, we have y-axis, we have secondary y-axis, we have legend, we have small multiples, we have two tips, and we have other field that we have here. So all these field like this, they are the fields that you may want to use to populate your visual. So x-axis like the horizontal axis, anything, all the like the data that you want to supply in your horizontal axis, you should provide it. Y-axis is like saying that the data that you want to show in your y-axis, you should show it here. But oftentimes, we may probably not even know the kind of um, where we should place our feeds. As for me, I can say I want to place my quantity or price in the x-axis. While people can say I want to place it in the y-axis. Me, I can decide that, oh, I don't want to place it in the y-axis, or I want to place it in. So something like that. So all these things are things that for a newbie in Power BI, if you don't even know where to place your data, Power BI AI intelligence is we actually help you by just clicking on it. If you just click on any data like this, it's going to determine itself where the particular axis to put your data. You don't without you even thinking, and it's going to be accurate. Like most times, like it is always accurate. So for instance, if I want to show quantity by data by date now, so I can just select date and the quantity, and Power BI itself is going to help me define the kind of axis for quantity and also the kind of axis for date itself ordinarily. So like I said, under this office supply, we have different information. We have the item. If you don't forget, in our table view here, under the office supplies, the item is just pen set, binder, and all those stuff. The unit sold is like the quantity. So it means that we sold 62 units of pen set in July 4, 2014. And the region at which we said that kind of quantity is East region. And the sales representative that sold that particular item is Richard. And the price Richard sold each quantity is 4.99 US dollars. So that's how to explain this table. But this table is quite explanatory like this for as a data analyst. But if you want to explain to a client that does not even understand religion and all that, and even sometimes it's not every time you have to explain data, like you have to explain your visuals to your clients. By just sharing your visual, ordinarily, your client should be able to use his own into intuition to define to explain the visual itself without you even have to explain yourself. Now I have to start saying 62 Kinecon was sold for Kin. I was the one explaining, but what if I'm not there? Or maybe someone else wants to explain. Also, that's with the help of Power BI, like generally, to create a visual rather than explaining a dummy data. And sometimes our data can be too much, enormous, that we cannot be. Do you explain to me explaining each of all these rows one by one and saying, James too sold 3 units of desk for 275. So it will be too much and it will not really make sense. But look at just this visual. I can say, okay, the total sales that we make for 2014 and 2015 was 11,000 in the 2 years, and we sold 732 quantity altogether. So I can say and I can say, okay, well, let me say, okay, I want to pick a particular year, 2014. I want to know how many sales that we make in 2014. I can just say, okay, 2014 we were able to make 6,217 sales, and we sold 333 quantity altogether. And I can say, okay, the binder and desk, it's because I select binder. So let me say I pick everything all together. So binder and desk, everything like this, binder, pencil, desk, and everything. So I'll be able to see them all at once, even though if I don't have any analysis to explain anything to me, it is very easier for me to say, okay, this is how this is and everything. So that is the one of the usefulness of Power BI. It is always helpful like this. So that said, let me just quickly explain how we can drag our data into this particular visual. So go back to your data pane, select the office supplies. All these items are the things that we're going to be working with. So like I said, we want to show the price and the quantity that is being sold by the date. So just click on the unit price here and also click on the unit sold. Check it. You can see automatically Power BI has helped you to define where to place it, and it's placed two of them in the y-axis. And the reason is because most times the the quantity, anything that is numeric, is always placed at the y-axis, and y-axis is like the values, like where to place your values. That is where the numeric, like anywhere you want to, like any value that you want to put into your visual, Power BI always places it in the y-axis, and y-axis represents like the values, something like that. Let me just put it like that. So let's say I also want to look into dates also. I want to select the dates at which I want to view this particular price and quantity. Just select the other dates too. So just check this other date, and automatically Power BI is going to use its own intelligence to know that, okay, this particular field should be in this particular axis. So just click on it like this, just check it. You can see, and our visualization is ready. You can see automatically it places it in the x-axis. But if you don't want Power BI to be defining all those things for you, just remove it, and you can drag like this. You can drag into your x-axis just like that. It does work. And if you don't want to drag like that, you can also drag into your visual directly like this, and you can see it is there. So those are the three ways of doing it. Is that you check it. If you should check it, it's going to show, and it's going to define it automatically. You can also move it to this particular field, or you just move the entire column into the visualization. That's how it works. So that like if you should notice now, if I should hover around all these my area charts here, you can see that I'm seeing something like Monday, April 27, 2015. The sum of unit price was 4.99, and the sum of units sold is 96. This particular thing that you are seeing here, if I should remove my mouse now, you cannot see it again. But if I should just hover like this, you can see it. So this thing that you are seeing has a name, and it has its own definition. And we are going to look into it. And okay, it is called two tips. Let me just tell you straight. It is called two tips. And that particular two tips, we are going to look at it in details, maybe in day 6 or day 7. But specifically, a particular section is made for it. So that's how to create a visualization, like very simple like that, just to create a visualization. That's how to create it. Now, And I hope we understand to this level. Like I was saying, I was trying to differentiate between a line chart and an area chart. I was saying that area chart is like you can see line chart is okay. Let me draw a visual again. Let me just show. Let's say I select now. If you want to select another visual, if you want to select another visual, try as much as possible to now before I click this visual. Now if you want to select another visual, try as much as possible to click this canvas first. Try to click this back canvas before you now pick another visual itself. If you don't click on that canvas, let's say you are on this visual, you now went forth to go and click this line chart. It's going to change the area chart itself. You can see it has changed. So it has changed from the area chart to the line chart. Let's say for instance, I also want to view, maybe let's say I want to use pie chart. You can see the way it's changed. So, but I don't want all this visualization. I just want area chart. Just click on area chart. And if you want to draw another chart, you can just click on the canvas and select your chart, line chart, and click on the data that you want to feed in, unit price, unit sold. So you can see the way this line chart, this area chart. So this one is like just line chart, just showing the line according to the date. But yeah, we don't want it to be like that. Like this one is just showing like the volume, like how it's showing it is more, this one is more detailed than this in a way that it gives like the volume at which the price and the quantity is being like it just show the relative volume or relative size. That's one of the major differences between line chart and an area chart. So I don't want this line chart. So if you want to delete the line chart, just click on it and press delete. Delete, not backspace, oh, delete on your keyboard. So, and it's going to delete like that, just like that. So nothing much. So let's say I still want to edit this particular chart here. Now, if you notice something in this chart here, you are going to see something like September 2014, November 2014, January 2015, March 2015, May 2015. This is because the data that we are provided does not have 20, it does not have January to December 2014, and 2015 too is not complete. So this is just the month. But let's say I'm not interested in the month like this. I'm interested in both the year and the quarter. Maybe my client was like, I want to know the quantity and the price of my product between for the quarter and the month and the year alone. So how am I going to do that? Don't forget that, like I said, under the fact table and the dimension table, we must always separate our table such that everything about date should be explicit. This other date that is in the, let me show you the table view. In the office supply, this other date that you are seeing here, this one just contains a summarized date, July 4, 2014, straight. That's just it. But if I want the quarter, I want the year, I want the week, I want everything. Everything, that one will be explicit in the dimension table. This is the fact table here. And this one is just summarizing that this is the date. But if I want to view more details about the date, I can just go to the date dimension here. So for this day dimension, I will just say, okay, oh, I have year, I have quarters, I have month, I have week of year, like that. So this one is more explicit than the fact table that I showed you earlier. So let's say the client now wants the quarters and he wants the month. Also, he wants the year and the quarter. He does not want like the one that we just did, that we just combine everything together, month and the. So the person wants it specifically that he wants year and he also wants the quarters. How are we going to do that? So I'm going to explain in a bit. So let me just remove these other days here. Don't forget, like I just explained now, to find the quarter and the year, I cannot find it in this table, office supply. I cannot find it. So if I'm looking for the quarter and the year, the particular table I'm going to see it from is from the date dimension table here. So click on the chevron icon that is beside it so that it can expand. And once it expands, yeah, we can now select the year and the quarter that we want from this particular table here. Whereas this office supply that is here, we've already selected the quantity and the price here. But I also want to, oh shit. All right, so we have 10 minutes. Let me just quickly explain this. And if you have any question, we can always raise it in the chat. So for this date dimension table here, I want to select the year and the quarter. So but if I want to select the year and the quarter, I'll just check it like this: year and the quarter ID. That's just it. But if you notice something, okay, let me just now you look at Power BI. Mistakenly, Power BI puts this sum of year under the y-axis, but I don't want it in the y-axis. I want it in the x-axis. So I just have to just click on this sum of year, hold it, and drag it to the x-axis on top of the quarter ID. So just drag it like that. So just drag it. Let the year be on top of the quarter ID. So that's it. So sometimes Power BI can make some mistakes because of some data type that you mentioned. You may try to just um, look into it as if it is a numeric and put in the y-axis. So you can see that after selecting the quarter ID and this year under the x-axis and the unit price and the unit, so look at our visualization. There is something that is wrong in this visualization, and what is wrong is that you will see that if I over on each of this year, we have 2014 and 2015. If I should over in this year now, the sum of the unit price and the quantity is the same for everything. For 2014, it is 873 as the price and 2121 as the quantity. We look at 2015 as well, it is also the same thing. Something is wrong. It's not possible for us to have the same quantity and the same price for the 2 years. That means that there's something wrong in our visualization. And that what is wrong is because I'm trying to combine this particular table with this table. And doing that, Power BI is confused that what is like Power BI cannot, there's no relationship between the tables. So I'm just selecting it and Power BI does not understand. So I have to make Power BI to understand that this table and this table is related by the date or something, or by the IDs. And that's where we have our cardinality, our connection together. So go back to the model view here. Select the model view. Like I said, we have two tables. So I have to connect these tables together for me to be able to define the that this for me to be able to connect this particular table together, I have to use a particular ID. Don't forget that in our dimension table and our fact table, I said that there must always be a unique ID for each row, like for a particular in the row of a particular table. So in this table now, there must be an ID, and that ID is that we should look at our table view here. Under the date dimension, there is date attribute. We should look at office supplies too. There is order date. This order date and the date attribute in date dimension, they are the same. So that is the ID that we are going to use to connect our table here. I've also give an example here. Say for instance, I want to combine items and item size. This particular 1223 here that is here and this 123 that is here is the ID. So if I want to connect these items and item size together, I have to use this ID to connect them together. So that Power BI can understand that, okay, this ID, anywhere I see 1 here, it means that it is big and it is 10. Anywhere I see 2, it is small and it is 20 and 25, something like that. So just like that, so that's what we are going to do here. So to connect this table and this table together, click on this date attribute. Just drag this date attribute and drag it to the other date that is here. You can see other date that is here. Just drag it like this. And just remove your hand from your mouse, and automatically the Power BI is going to connect two of them together using this ID, which is the date attribute and the other date. If I should over on this connection now, you can see it has highlighted that this table is connected by the ID date. That's the meaning. So if I want to see the definition, if I want to see more details about the connection, just double click on the link, that line. You can see this is the date dimension that will connect with office supply. And it is highlighting this particular column here. These are all the columns that we have in date dimension, and these are all the columns that we have in office supply. So it is highlighting this column and it is highlighting this column, meaning that we connect this table and this table together using using this particular ID, which is the date attribute and the other dates in the office supply. Now look at below here, we have what we call cardinality. Like I said, we have 4 types of cardinality. And under this cardinality is like the types of connection that we have in Power BI. So click on this diagram, this option here. We have many to one, we have one to one, we have one to many, and we have many to many relationship. So the meaning of this one to one, many to one to many, and many to many, I'm going to, because of our time today, I'm going to explain more in details tomorrow. But you don't need to define your relationship yourself. Power BI is going to use its own intelligence to know that, okay, this table and this table are one to one. It's going to know that, okay, this table and this table is many to many. That is why we are having one to one here. In a case, some other times that we are working with our data, we can have many to one. It's going to change depending on the kind of data that we supply. Power BI is going to know that, okay, the connection between this connection has many to one to many, and others like that. So, but just know that we have four types and know the kind of four types that we have. So later on, as we go on tomorrow, I'm going to explain I'm going to give more explanations to this cardinality. Now let's go back to our report view. So going back to our report view now, you can see that the table has now changed. So the visuals has now changed automatically. You can see that in 2014 now, the sum of units is now 599.16 and the quantity is now 956. Before it was bringing the same thing as the 2015, but you can see that it's not different. That's because we define our relationship. So in a case whereby you have something like that, try as much as possible to first connect your table together so that you're not going to have that kind of issue. So the last thing I would like to do here is, based on our class there, I said we are going to do connecting tables, types of connection between, but I'm going to explain better. You can see now, this is the fact table that we just defined, and this is the date dimension table. So we are connecting this particular ID with this ID here. It is one-to-one relationship. So tomorrow I'm going to explain better. And introduction to categorical hierarchy and creating date hierarchy. That's what I want to explain to end this class. So now if you notice under this x-axis, I selected year and quarter ID. But I can combine this year and quarter ID together as an hierarchy. Hierarchy is like a group of columns that you want to put in your field. So let's deselect this year and this quarter ID that is here. Let's delete it like that. So come to this date attribute here under the date dimension table. Now look at these three dots that is in front of it. Click on it for more options. And once you click on more options, you can see create hierarchy. So click on create hierarchy. And once you click on create hierarchy, it's going to create the hierarchy for you. Now it is creating the okay. So these are hierarchy now. So this hierarchy is like saying that an hierarchy, like I said, is like a group of columns that you have in your table. So I want to group the year. I want the year and the quarter ID to be in a hierarchy. So I have to put this year and this quarter ID inside this hierarchy. Now this hierarchy too is just like I can also select it like this. I can see everything that is inside it. You can see date attribute hierarchy. That is the name. Now let's say I want to put this year there. I will just click on this three dots here that is here. I'll just click on it like this. Look at it here. Add to hierarchy. What kind of hierarchy do you want to create? If you have more than one hierarchy in your model, it's going to bring all the hierarchy. But we only have date attribute, so it's bringing date attribute hierarchy. So just click on it like this, and automatically it's going to be added to the date attribute hierarchy. You can see now it is now under the date hierarchy here. So for the quarter ID to just click on it, add to hierarchy, and click on date attribute hierarchy. Now I don't want this date attribute to be there in this hierarchy. So just click on it and just delete from the model. Yes, I want to delete from the model, from the hierarchy level. So we now have only year and quarter ID. So now I can now select this date attribute hierarchy. I can now put it in our x-axis, just like that. It is still the same way when we have it. But this is now put under a particular group, which is known as date attribute hierarchy. So tomorrow we are going to continue our class. If you have any question, please send it on the group. I'm going to do well to answer all of them. So see you guys tomorrow. The time is already distant, so the video is ending soon.